Hello, 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 hello to the 2014 incoming class of transfer students to the one and only Northwestern University. My name is Theo Cunningham. I serve on the Wildcat Welcome Board of Directors as the director for transfer students, and we are so excited this Transformation Tuesday. I know y'all appreciate that pun. To be having this Google Hangout just for y'all to give you the transfer-specific information that you need. I'm just thrilled. This is wonderful. I'm joined by 5 of our wonderful transfer peer advisors. They are transfer students who've been in your shoes in the past year or two, and they're so excited to answer some of your questions tonight and hang out with you all Wildcat Welcome and your first year at Northwestern. So without further ado, I'm going to let them introduce themselves because they're great.
Hi everyone, my name's Allison. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I'm going to be a senior next year, so class of 2015. My major is English and Legal Studies, and I am interning in Washington, D.C. this summer. I'm on the Hill, I'm in the House of Representatives, and it's been great. I'm in my last couple weeks, but it's been super fun.
Hi everyone, my name is Andy Linder. I'm a rising junior journalism major from Potomac, Maryland, right outside of DC. I'm in the class of 2016, and this summer I'm interning at a nonprofit in Chicago and just enjoying the city after my first year. I love it here and just can't wait.
Hi everyone, my name is Nathan. I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I'm double majoring in performance studies and anthropology. I'm going to be a senior, and I've been in Evanston this summer. I've been working on some theater productions in the theater department and starting work on my thesis.
Hey, I'm Nina. I am from Madison, Wisconsin. I'll be a junior studying anthropology and doing pre-med coursework. And this summer I'm in Evanston. I'm a camp counselor for the city of Evanston. And yeah, I didn't want to leave after my first year, so I'm just hanging out.
Hey guys, I'm Victoria. I'm a second-year transfer PA going into my senior year, so class of 2015. I'm studying linguistics and biology at Northwestern, and this summer I've just been living at home, and which is in Park Ridge, Illinois, and I've just been studying for the MCAT and working part-time at a pediatric clinic.
Awesome. Thank you guys. They are 5 of the 10 cool people that you will ever meet. And I'm so excited that they get to answer our questions. So getting right into it, the first one we've gotten, which definitely resonates with me, I remember from my summer after freshman year. So I got out of school in May. Wildcat Welcome is not until September. This summer is really long. What should I be doing?
Sure. So that's a tough one. I definitely felt that way coming out of my freshman year. I got out of school in late April, so it was the longest summer ever. But I know it's hard now to, you get tired of saying, enjoy your time off, but really do try and enjoy your time off and spend time with your family if you can. And but now that it's getting to August, you can start looking forward to fall classes, and if you get the opportunity to maybe see if there's anything you can do to kind of lessen your load in the fall, just really try and use up that extra time. I know it feels so long, but just try and take advantage of it as much as possible.
Awesome. Thank you, Allison. So our next question that we've got, can someone describe a little bit of what Wildcat Welcome is going to be like for transfer students? How much will transfer to a freshman? Why is it value for the coming?
Yeah, I can definitely answer that question. Wildcat Welcome is geared for all new students, so yes, there will be a lot of time with the freshmen as transfer students, but I feel like it's necessary in order, because we're all getting oriented to a new place, and so there will be a good bit of time, but seriously, we know that you've come from another school, and I felt the same way. I didn't want to start from ground zero. I wanted to be with people that I knew had already, had some college experience under their belt, and we know that, and that's why the transfer PAs are here. So we're not starting from ground zero. There will be a lot of transfer-specific programming, but also there will be a lot of like fun activities that everyone will do together. You know, one night we all go to Six Flags. There's a mentalist who comes. There's an a cappella fest. There's just so much that we have, you know, getting ready for you guys to start your career at Northwestern that it's a very exciting time. There will be a lot of transfer surprises, let's just say, a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, you'll definitely get to meet a lot of freshmen since we're all new. But it's bound to be a great time. So get excited.
Yeah, and I want to touch on that a little bit too. Victoria and I were transfer peer advisors last year, as was Theo, and I really think seeing the new students, the new transfer students come in and really be able to bond as a group and kind of meet other transfers, you get to establish a community really well. It's not like you're not treated as a freshman. The program really tries as much as possible to make this an experience that is specific to the transfer community. So we even get fun events that are just for us. There's a transfer trip to Chicago one day while the freshmen are spending all their time scheduling their classes for the fall. So there's definitely time that we get as a transfer community to kind of be together and be separate from the freshmen. So you're not feeling like you are being treated as someone who has not gone through college at all before.
Awesome. That was so holistic. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, Wildcat Welcome for transfers is amazing. I'm so excited for you guys to get here and experience it. It's going to be great. So going back to some of those summer must-dos that we have, you've been hearing a little bit about something called One Book, One Northwestern. What is that? Do I have to read it? Etc.
I can take that one. So the One Book, One Northwestern is a book that every new student gets. All your peer advisors get it, and the teachers of freshman seminars get it. And this year it's Whistling Vivaldi. It's a social psych book about stereotype threat. And it's honestly something that like anyone who's a person can relate to. So it's a quick read, and there'll be different like events during Wildcat Welcome and throughout the year for everyone to attend. Some of them have like the author there, and it's worth reading, definitely for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I've been reading it over the summer. It's definitely a really interesting read. There's going to be a lot on campus about it, so look forward to that as well. So our next question, do you guys kind of stay in contact with friends from your past school? How do you stay in contact? Kind of what's the best way to go about that?
Yeah, I can take that one. So I was fortunate enough to have transferred from a school that's close to Northwestern, actually. I came from DePaul University, which is right in Chicago. So I've still been able to keep in touch with friends from old schools, or from my old school, because they're so close. But I know that that's not the situation for everybody. And so now, actually, as Allison was saying, you know, as you have this this whole big chunk of time before Northwestern starts, it's actually a great time to go visit your friends and just still keep in touch with them, because you're not in school and most of your friends will just be in their first weeks of school, so hopefully it won't be as stressful for them because they'll just be starting out. And, you know, of course, texting and Skyping is always a really good way to go, and, you know, breaks are always so much fun to see your friends, and so it's definitely possible, and highly encouraged to still stay in contact with your friends from other schools, because I'm sure they want to hear how you're doing too.
Yeah, and I also have some experience with this. Like, I'm from the DC area. The school I went to before Northwestern is in the Boston area, and now I'm in Chicago, so I've sort of been all over the place, but I was ready, you know, coming into my sophomore year, I was ready to live with 10 of my closest friends. And you know, they found out I was transferring and were very upset, and you know, there was a part of me that wanted to stay because of those friends, but I knew coming to Northwestern would just greatly enhance my academic experience for a number of ways. But luckily, with the quarter system, like, I was able to go on my breaks to visit my friends at my old school, because they were still in school because of it being a semester system. Sure, it might not have been best for my mom's wallet to send me to Boston, like, over the breaks when she wanted to see me, but over winter break and spring break, I was able to see those friends and really stay in contact. and it was awesome. I got to see those friends and spend the night, and it was great. So, you know, I love Northwestern, and they're even a little bit jealous that I'm having such an incredible college experience now being at Northwestern, but they're right there, and you'll never lose those friends if you don't want to.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. So speaking of the quarter system, this is a question we've gotten from a couple of people who really want just like a breakdown analysis, semester versus quarters. We're coming off of semesters, going to quarters. What do we think is the difference? How do we feel? Is it really that crazy?
So my freshman year, the school I went to was on the semester system, and I definitely think that can be a very like big transition for people. Obviously, you're going from a 15-week class to a 10-week class, and that reduction in time forces some professors to feel the need to condense a lot of material into a short period of time, and that can be sort of intimidating. So there can definitely be some difficulties with it. I don't want to sugarcoat. I think it's fair to say that sometimes the quarter system can be a little rough, but you do get essentially 3 sets of classes that you can take during the year. You get to take more classes actually than you do at a semester school in most situations. So it allows you to just take a lot of different classes, figure out things that you're interested in, maybe take some classes that you wouldn't have gotten time to take at a semester school. And it also is really nice because after each quarter, you have a break, and then you come back to new classes. It's not like at a semester school when you have spring break, and then you come back and you probably have exams or spring semester classes. Here, winter quarter's over, you have spring break, you come back and you have a new start. So that's a really nice advantage of the quarter system.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know. The quarter system really works for me in the way my brain works. So I feel ya. All right. So moving on, can someone speak to kind of what was the most difficult aspect of transferring for them, or something that they just didn't totally expect from the process?
Yeah, gosh, that's such a tough one because transferring is great in so many ways and really tough in so many ways too. I guess coming in, I was so excited to get to go to Northwestern. I didn't really anticipate a lot of the difficulties, just because I over the summer I couldn't wait to get there and getting so excited for Wildcat Welcome, and I got there on my first day and it's like, oh gosh, I have to do the whole thing all over again, and it was scary. But I really didn't expect Wildcat Welcome to be as helpful as it was, and it really surprised me. I guess I didn't feel like I would really start kind of fitting in and acclimating until school started, but I was super surprised that I met some of my very best friends during Wildcat Welcome, and being a transfer kind of stuck with me as part of my identity on campus, which is another thing I didn't expect. I'm so proud to be a transfer even 2 years later. I still I love meeting other transfers, and I didn't expect that community.
Yeah, I can add to that too. Being a transfer, honestly, I came in expecting it to be kind of like a burden. Like I'd have to explain to everyone, yeah, I'm a transfer, and like that I'd kind of want to hide it. But it actually turned out to be something that just made me more interesting and really intrigued whoever I would tell that I was a transfer. So it does complicate things. Like you're always going to have to mention, oh, well, I'm a transfer. I didn't exactly have the typical four-year Northwestern experience. But that's not a bad thing in anyone else's eyes. It just makes your story different and more interesting in some ways.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's so true. That's also true. All right, so jumping a little bit, what would we say Northwestern sports culture is like? What is it like to be a Wildcat?
So I can take that one. So Northwestern sports culture, it's really such a great way, at least for me, it was a great way to get a break from academics, and it's such a fun culture to be a part of. Football games are really popular and definitely worth going to, and other sporting events they're never more than a 15-minute walk away because everything's so close, or at least like the sports complex. Like a lot of things are housed in there, and Lakeside Field, where field hockey and lacrosse are. It's really close too. It's always a fun trek up to Ryan Field for football games with your friends, and some of my best memories came from Victory Chipotle visits afterwards. And it's just really nice to be at a school where everyone's so spirited, because you'll always find people to go with to games, and that was actually one of the big attractors to me, but to decide to transfer to Northwestern. But at the same time, don't feel like you have to go to every sporting event to be a dedicated Wildcat fan. It's there if you want it, and so take advantage of it if you want it, but don't feel like you're obligated to.
Just quick adding on to what Victoria was saying, Evanston kind of turns into a college town, like on game days, like football games especially. Like every family has season tickets. It seems like, so it's definitely fun to take advantage of that. Like while you're at Northwestern, it's kind of cool. Like you're on top of giant Chicago, but Evanston kind of just turns into a college town on game days and stuff. So it's a good time.
Awesome. You guys, Victoria, I want to go on a Chipotle victory this run, whatever. We're doing that. That sounds great. All right. So on kind of the topic of outside the classroom, what we're doing as a transfer student, what is it like getting started with extracurricular activities? Is it hard, easy, weird, etc.?
Oh yeah, I can definitely take this one. Absolutely not. It is not hard at all to get involved in extracurriculars as a transfer. In fact, I would say that in a lot of ways it's almost easier to be part of extracurriculars as a transfer with some college experience under your belt, because freshmen come in, they don't really know what they're doing, they don't know what their interests are. Their interests are sort of all over the map, but you might have had a great experience at your old school with a certain extracurricular, and you want to translate that right over to Northwestern, and that makes it easier for interviews and for applications. It's definitely a serious process, being part of extracurriculars, because at Northwestern everyone wants to do it, and it's really fun being part of things outside of the classroom and getting involved and meeting new people. So I personally, my interests coming to Northwestern were still all over the map, so I was sort of applying all over. I'm part of a consulting club, I'm part of a nonprofit through Hillel, I'm part of the club boxing team. So I just found, I applied sort of for a bunch of different things, and then sort of started going to meetings and found what I really loved, and what I thought, I like this group of people, I want to stick with this extracurricular, and it's great. And so I would definitely say it's not hard at all. And even as just a sophomore in general, a lot of freshmen decide that they sort of want to acclimate to the school before getting involved. So there are a lot of sophomores who come in, or even juniors, and they want to try new things, or really get their feet wet with something that could turn into a potential career. So it's great. I would not say it's hard at all to get involved, and something you should definitely look forward to.
Yeah, I totally agree. One of the reasons I transferred to Northwestern, because I was very interested in the really great performing arts community that we have on campus. And I think it's great because you can get involved with it very easily. You don't need to be, in and be a voice major or be a theater major to take advantage of the a cappella and theater opportunities on campus. There are 9 different student theater groups, I think, and that's in addition to the many productions that the department puts on every year. There are over 12 a cappella groups, and those auditions end up taking place during towards the end of Wildcat Welcome, and a lot of those groups will continue to have auditions throughout the year as they need new members, because people go on to study abroad or leave for different reasons. So there's a lot of ways to get involved with arts communities on campus, and that's something that I think I've been taking advantage of. Even though I'm a transfer student, I don't think I was at any sort of disadvantage in getting involved in the things that I wanted to get involved with.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. All right, so that was a really cool extracurricular piece. Now jumping back to the classroom. When should transfer students be registering for fall quarter classes? Is there an orientation they need to attend before Wildcat Welcome? What does that look like?
So the The registration process is a little different in each school, but sort of the overview is it would be best to contact the main office of your school. I know Weinberg students, we have to call the main office, like the advising office, and set up an appointment to talk to someone, and you'll register for classes before you get to campus. And I think they give you the option, you can either do it, if you have the opportunity to visit campus, you can set up a meeting with an advisor, which would be great, but I remember scheduling my classes over the phone with an advisor during the summer, and it was super easy, and they're all, incredibly friendly, of course. So that's pretty much how you go about that, but it's going to be a little bit different for every school.
Thanks. That's very true. Yeah, I think in general, just the best rule to kind of go by is the earlier you contact the advisors for your school, the better shape you'll be in for Wildcat Welcome, but definitely get on that registration. So moving on a little bit, can anyone speak to studying abroad as a transfer student? Is it possible? What is it like?
Yeah, one of my good friends is actually studying abroad right now. We both came in as transfers last year, and he came in as a Spanish and history major and really wanted to study abroad and didn't want to have to give that up because of being a transfer student. So he's a Spanish major, and he's in Argentina like right now, and he did come with some like extra credits coming in, so it made it a little bit easier to graduate on time and everything. But yeah, no, he's there. He's like with a bunch of like normal rising juniors who wish to study abroad, and so it's definitely possible. And I would say, like he's gonna. I personally wasn't, I sort of wanted to stay on campus for my second year, but through Medill, since I am a Medill journalism student, I'll have an opportunity to sort of study abroad in the United States. Through the journalism residency program, so I'll get like a quarter to go somewhere, where they have an internship that I'd be interested in. So it's definitely possible. Sometimes there are like credit issues, but not usually. Like a lot of transfers specifically decide that they still want to do that, and they get to go abroad. So it's great.
Yeah, I have a very close friend who is a transfer peer advisor last year, and she is also a senior, and she's studying abroad. And she's made it work, and she's changed her major, I think, twice. So it is possible to get it to work. I think that's actually one of the wonderful things about the quarter system, again, is it's so flexible. And your advisors are really willing to help you do what you want to do and do what you need to do in your academic career, especially if that involves studying abroad.
Thank you guys so much. All right, this question is one of my favorites because I think it's just so important in conceptualizing kind of one's transfer process, and that for me, like whatever you're looking for, like in a college experience that you haven't necessarily had before, I really think lies somewhere here at Northwestern. So for you guys, what was something you were looking for in transferring, and where did you find it here?
So one thing that I was looking for in transferring, and it sounds sort of nebulous, but I think it gets a little more specific, so just hang on. I guess I was looking for a community, like the atmosphere of people who really care about what they're doing, and it feels like they just have a lot of passion. And I think you really get that kind of everywhere at Northwestern, which is something I love about it. I mean, you'll meet people who they are so passionate about something that you didn't even know existed, and they'll tell you about it, and then you'll be passionate about it. And it's something that's really infectious, and it's just the community atmosphere in that way is really fantastic, and it makes you want to be more excited and passionate about the things that you love, which I think is really great.
So I guess that was really similar to what I wanted to say. So kind of piggybacking off of Allison, in transferring, I was really looking for a school which provided me with that, which had provided like so many opportunities for me to get involved in so many different aspects of college life and academic life, and that was something that I really didn't find at my previous institution. And I think I really did find that in Northwestern. In my fall quarter, I was really like overwhelmed with things that I wanted to try out and things that I did end up trying out, and some of which stuck, some of which didn't, but I was able to get involved with things that I was really passionate about by my winter and spring quarters, and it's really served me well, and you know, I'm really just happy that I transferred.
I think what I was looking for in transferring was just more diversity in like the people at the school, the interests, people's passions, and I definitely found that at Northwestern it's ridiculous the span of things that people are interested in, where people come from, what there is to do. The opportunities are actually endless, and not only that, but everything is like really good quality. So I definitely found that here at Northwestern there's just so many things to do and get interested in and involved in, and so many different kinds of people here.
One of the things I was really looking for was school spirit. I went to a school before Northwestern that had Division III athletics, and being a big sports fan and like having sports as a main part of school culture in high school, like I really missed out on that, and I felt like I would go to some games and not see any other students there, and that was frustrating for me. I couldn't even get my friends to come to some games. But at Northwestern, it's totally different. From the first football game you'll go to during Wildcat Welcome, like the scene is just incredible. Everyone is decked out in purple. Everyone is cheering. It feels like a true Big Ten school, and you know it's awesome. I've loved every second of it, and I really feel like part of the community because of our big time Division I athletics, and that's something I can't wait to continue, like going into this year and then my senior year.
I think for me, I was just looking for a different sort of community than the one I had ended up in. I previously went to a school that, looking back, because my parents and my community and the school advisor were kind of pushing me in that direction because they thought it would be good for me. And I got there and found that there wasn't really a lot of what I wanted, and there weren't many activities that I wanted to do that I had access to there. So it's been really good for me being at Northwestern and sort of making that informed decision to transfer here and to have the artistic and intellectual opportunities that I wanted, to be in such a great college town that's so close to such an amazing big city. And I just am really sure now that this was the right choice for me to make, to come to Northwestern. And I think I sort of was able to make that informed choice because I knew what I didn't want previously.
Oh, warms my heart. Y'all are amazing. I'm so excited. Transferring is dope. We did also, this is a tangent a little bit, but we got a message from another transfer PA who is in Nepal currently. His name is Avi. You'll meet him. He's great. But he says hi to y'all, and he loves y'all too. Yeah, insane. Exciting. So our last question of the evening, just because we have gotten a few questions from people being like, okay, what is this Wildcat Welcome? Can you guys give like a snapshot of your favorite thing, your favorite part of Wildcat Welcome, whatever it is, and why?
So my favorite part, well, I guess the thing that my favorite memory looking back, we actually, I think it was a rain delay or something was late, and we were, it was just, our group was sitting around, and we decided to play a bunch of, icebreaker games, and we got involved with another group, and we were all playing these games, and it turned into like the most hilarious, fun hour of the entire week. And it was something that wasn't planned, it was totally random, and had something not been, running late or whatever, we never would have had that time, and it was just so great. I mean, it just illustrates, I think, that like every minute that you're there can be so much fun, even when you're not expecting it.
So I can go next. One of my favorite nights is the night that everybody goes to Six Flags. It's shut down just for Northwestern students, and there's a new ride, which is awesome. Also, something that I really enjoyed from my Wildcat Welcome was having a big transfer bonfire where I was able to not only bond with transfers from my year, but also transfers from previous years too. And I was able to get to meet them, and they were able to shed light, on their transfer experience and just kind of give me tips from, from the pros. And it's just so neat how much transfers at Northwestern. They really take care of each other, and I can't wait to have you guys experience that. And so just get ready for all that fun stuff.
My favorite part is similar to Victoria's, but there's a point during Wildcat Welcome when all the transfers get together, all the new incoming transfers get together with advising, but basically you're all in the same room together, and it's just amazing how you kind of right off the bat start to feel like a whole community of transfers, and it doesn't feel like you're this kind of oddball group of not freshmen, but it feels like this week is really for you, and you just get a feel for this community that exists on campus for transfers, and it's really great.
Actually, Nathan touched on my favorite part about Wildcat Welcome earlier, and that's when all the transfers get to go to Chicago. And it's really cool because you spend a few days, you're in Evanston, you're getting acclimated to campus, and then, all of a sudden, we all get on a bus, and we end up in the middle of Chicago, and it's I had never been to Chicago before coming to Northwestern, and while yes, we have Evanston sort of as our own and sort of as a mini college town, you could say, but there's this world out there that is Chicago, one of the coolest cities in the nation, and we get to explore and meet other transfers and all be together while the freshmen are busy signing up for classes. We've already done that. We've already had this college experience, and we're ready to just kill it at a new place. And that trip to Chicago will always be my favorite part. I'm so excited for this year's. But yeah, that was definitely my favorite part.
I mean, as a transfer student coming in, I think my favorite part was the trip to Chicago too. I just think it was I'd only ever passed through Chicago before, and getting to really be in this big city that I had not gotten a chance to experience was really cool. And it's something that I think is a great introduction to downtown and can really allow you to sort of get a taste of a place that you can have the next 2 or 3 years to explore and figure out. But as a whole, I love Wildcat Welcome, all the transfer-specific events. I just think it's a really awesome opportunity and time for us as a transfer community to sort of bond and get to know each other, because there is something different about our experience as students at Northwestern than the person who comes in as a freshman and is there 4 years. So I think it's just a really wonderful opportunity for us to get to know each other, to share our experiences, and really establish that bond that we should have as a transfer community.
Woohoo! That sounded like so much fun. I want to go right now. I'll tell you, my favorite part is our night at Target. I don't know if any of y'all attended that last year. It was awesome. It's going to be awesome. It's a party at Target. Could there be anything better? I don't know. But that is all that we have for the transfer students this evening. You have received an email from your peer advisor, or you will be in the next couple of days. So in that way, that's going to be your point person for asking any questions that you have as we wait for Wildcat Welcome impatiently to come. Hopefully this gives you kind of an idea of what you can expect here at Northwestern. We're so excited for you guys to come. I can't even use words anymore, so I'm just going to say good night, and you're wonderful, and bye. Bye. Yeah.